Did you hear the news? In just a few months, this manga will be adapted into an anime. It tells the story of Sagawa Yuki, who, for some reason, is reincarnated into another world, though he has near unstoppable power. Instead of becoming a hero or demon lord, this guy chooses to be a regular soldier of the demon clan. Guarding the gate, he has caused the human hero teams to suffer crushing defeats. One day, while guarding the gate against the hero squad as usual, he unexpectedly locks eyes with Cecilia. She is a young woman in the main hero's team. Ignoring everything, he opens the gate for the heroes but with one condition. They must leave the girl behind. Huh? What? This guy just beat down a hero just like that. Let us see. You are Sagawa Yuki, a human, now reincarnated. Right before the process, you were granted a special blessing. That is why you became a demon. Not human. Your horns and wings are proof. Sagawa sighed deeply when he saw the fallen heroes on the ground. They were invading the demon lord's castle. Their target was the king in the deepest chamber. In other words, you are the boss guarding this place. This confusing situation made you scratch your head, wondering if you should just whack them lightly. What next? Being new at this, Sagawa felt uneasy, unsure whether to advance or retreat. If the heroes do not defeat the demon lord, peace won't return. That means they have to take out all the bosses protecting him. Like you. But then again, the world really needs peace. Suddenly, your sharp mind kicked into gear. Fine. Heal them and sneakily dump them in the forest. Tell the soldiers to just run fast and get out. Quick note. This guy is Hero Yuga. Sagawa recalled their earlier encounter, and a strange feeling grew in his chest. Yuga shouted some childish lines and swung his sword. Take this, Excalibur. He got hit back with an equally fierce counterattack. After that quick fight, Sagawa turned to Yuga and said, "Done healing. Now scram." Then came the witch Magana, who kept flirting with the hero, whispering sweet words. "You can do it, dear." Annoyed, Sagawa fixed that too. Next up was the cool swordsman Revan. He was too handsome, so Sagawa used high-level magic to make him vanish. Well, technically just turned him invisible. The witch and hero were too inexperienced and got taken down easily. Finally, the nun Cecilia, after beating the others, Sagawa lightly took her down too. After fixing the hero team, Sagawa exhaled no injuries, so no need to heal. Suddenly, an image appeared before his eyes, making his heart skip a beat. Oh man! Cecilia's charm had easily captured this guy's heart, a true beauty. Then he gently lifted her up, blushing as he thought, "That is exactly my type. Should I just take her home? But if the demon lord finds out, that'd be bad. Maybe I could even defeat the demon lord myself. I have the power. After all, but kidnapping a girl, that is a bit much." These wild thoughts pulled Sagawa back to reality as he ordered, "Heal them all." The subordinates immediately followed the command, though his heart silently mourned. Farewell, my angel. 3 days later, the heroes returned to challenge them amid Yuga's battle cries. "Let us settle this." Seeing their confidence, Sagawa fired back excitedly. "You are fearless coming here. I am captain of the Dark Knight squad. I will send you all to hell." He introduced himself with the same bratty style as Yuga, who then dropped the act and said, "That is your name. Get ready to die." Yuki. Yuga swung his sword down right at Sagawa, who had to leap up. In that moment, Sagawa's eyes briefly glanced downward. He caught sight of Cecilia, frowning as she observed the battle. Yuga kept attacking pointlessly while Sagawa remained focused on the beautiful girl. That made Yuga furious. He shouted, "Hey, fight seriously for once." Sagawa was startled and replied, "Sorry." Then secretly thought, "I have been distracted staring at her this whole time. At this rate, it is really disrespectful to the opponent." Then Sagawa raised his hand high to unleash a powerful technique, the supreme dark magic. Suddenly, the opponent's unexpected strike left Yuga wide-eyed in shock. The culprit sneered after leaving the group sprawled on the ground. "Oops. Slipped up." He suddenly remembered Cecilia was among those people. Sagawa hurried over to check. The lady was not injured at all. She must be activated her protective spell in time. Thanks to that, he could finally breathe a sigh of relief. What a relief! He secretly healed them again and dumped them in the forest near base. A month passed, and they came back to challenge him again. Gradually, even the demon lord's army started to look down on them. But really, it was because he was stronger than anyone imagined. They had the power to defeat the demon lord. It just was not easy. With some downtime, Sagawa lay back and stared at the ceiling, deep in thought. "Twice they have faced my challenge, and I remember she was not just beautiful, but had a great personality too. Next time, I will be determined when we meet again." Magana murmured to Yuga, "This time, let us do everything we can to take down this half-baked demon." Sagawa's sharp ears caught that tone, making him smirk quietly. "Yuga, let us see how far you have really come. Half-baked. That is you guys." But at that moment, Sagawa began to notice the other members more closely. Why does that swordsman still hold his sword like a scared clam? What did he say? Before he could finish thinking, Cecilia's sweet, rich voice cut through. "Everyone, give it your all." It made Sagawa's expression change faster than an actor's. "Your angel looks cuter every time I see her." Sagawa quietly exhaled deeply to warm up his face for the stage. Once the acting bug hit, He laughed loudly like he just downed a bottle of super cough syrup. You do not know fear but still come here. Captain of the Dark Knights. Yugi will send you all straight to hell. That arrogant attitude easily pissed off the young hero. Yuga, let us... But that did not last long when Sagawa accidentally overdid it, of course. This time he easily defeated them again. It seemed they were finally realizing how strong he really was. While resting mid-battle, Sagawa silently signaled himself. It is Before the heavy one spoke in a mysterious tone. You still do not get it. Do you? There is no way you can beat me. Hearing this, Yuga furrowed his brow angrily. So what if that is true? I have to win for all those suffering out there. Suddenly Sagawa pointed at Cecilia and declared, then she stays here. The other three can pass, except Magana, who silently smiled. Everyone else stared wide-eyed. Girl? What? That sentence was like gasoline on their fire, making their rage boil over. How could I leave an important teammate behind with the enemy? He knew this answer was coming. Sagawa quickly pulled out the pre-planned script with some dramatic flourishes. Is that... Then the deal's off. Get ready for the familiar forest. The battle did not last long before Magana intervened. Yuga, do as he says. It shocked him enough to ask again. Magana, what did you say? Her sharp green tea look made him silent and observe. As expected, she continued with her explanation. Think carefully. Though he looks young, his strength is beyond belief. Right now, we have to put humanity's safety first. It made Sagawa grit his teeth to hold himself back. I look inexperienced. What Magana said was not kind, but it made sense. And it clearly annoyed Yuga. But we can sacrifice Cecilia. Seeing that scene, she decided to play her trump card. He wanted to harm Cecilia yet. Right? Let us take down the Demon King first, then come back to save her. His weak brain could not come up with any other plan, leaving Yuga dejected and resolved. I get it now. I will allow it. Cecilia, come here. That one line made Sagawa laugh. Your eyes are cold as you scan the weaklings before you. Then you can go. Here's your death exemption token. He dashed off with the others but did not forget to brag. We will definitely come back to save you. After they left, only 2 people remained in the secret chamber, each representing opposing sides. Sagawa's face flushed red, just like a big guy falling in love for the first time. Now you are alone with her. So exciting. Suddenly, Cecilia lifted her staff and struck, her voice stern and clear. Though with my strength, I can't even hurt a fly. I will fight to the end. Seeing his beloved tense up, he nervously tried to make peace. Hey, calm down. Do not get so worked up. Calm down. Calm down. Her timid look confused him and made him question her. So now you are trying to trick me, even in love. That descend chills down your spine. No way. That can't be true. Her anxious and worried tone made Cecilia question relentlessly. Then what is it? Torture me and then kill me. His tone forced Sagawa to speed up the plan he would prepared. If that is true, then I have not wasted my time until now. I only loved you at first sight. Please go out with me. His heart blossomed with fierce love. I just confessed. His sharp eyes dimmed, losing all coldness, replaced only by sweetness so intense it is almost sickly. Cecilia unconsciously screamed from embarrassment. She hesitated uncertainly, making Sagawa's heart burn like it is on fire. But that flame was quickly doused by Cecilia's cold words. Hearing that, he painfully clutched his leg, muttering, I got dumped. Might as well dig my own grave. That sudden change scared her, making her feel protective. Are you okay? But right after, Cecilia gritted her teeth and raised her staff. I am your enemy. Seeing Sagawa's blank reaction, she questioned in confusion. Why do not you stand up and fight back? Hearing his soft explanation, rejected by you. I lost the will to live. Cecilia blushed angrily. Stop joking like that. Her annoyed yet sweet, pouty voice made Sagawa's heart both ache and flutter. So cute even when angry. Then no. After thinking it over, he sighed and confided, because if I live, it is only in this darkness. Right? Every time I leave, it is just to harm others. And I never wanted that. The young man's sorrowful face made Cecilia feel sympathetic. I have never seen a demon like you before. Demon kids are usually cruel. Brutal too. You think your life reset to 0. Sagawa shamelessly shared his secret. Before reincarnating as a demon, I was human. More specifically, I am Sagawa Ilki, a young man killed by a car accident. The strange knowledge confused her. He was originally human. This is true. So why did not you just protect us from the start? Wouldn't he that have been better? Sagawa smirked and asked back, if I had said from the start that I wanted to help, would you have believed me? A demon like me. Then Cecilia hesitated and asked, but you could easily defeat the Demon King, right? Looking at the empty space in the room, you sighed and explained, it is not that simple. The next Demon King will be born soon. That is a complicated matter for me. I have always been here since I was born. I ended up hating it, but the changes were too great. So I decided to confess to you and say goodbye to my life to serve this Demon King. Your teammates are strong enough to defeat the Demon King this time. Feeling truly foolish, Sagawa could only smile wryly. But whatever. Just leave me be. Suddenly, Cecilia's voice startled him. You have so much power. Can you use that power to protect us humans? You can probably disguise yourself as a human easily, right? That way, you can blend into human society without trouble. Come with me into the outside world beyond this illusion. When Cecilia's warm hand reached out, it touched Sagawa's cold, lonely heart. That day, the Demon King was defeated, and peace returned to the world once more. Later, in Minerva's capital, the crowd cheered loudly and far, Hero, Congratulations. The whole world celebrated the Demon King's defeat and praised the hero. A grand welcome ceremony was held for their team in the Kingdom of Clarines. While the festival buzzed, Sagawa arrived at the Minerva Insurance Gate. He looked up to confirm he was in the right place. After promising Cecilia, he escaped from the Demon King's city. Following the map she gave him, he came here. The rest of the hero team thought he was dead. Entering the guild hall, Sagawa called inside. Sorry, I want to register as an adventurer. Someone inside grumbled in annoyance. There is no one registering for jobs at this hour during the welcome ceremony. Grayman yawned, reluctantly standing to greet him, despite Sagawa explaining his purpose. I want to register as an adventurer. His mind did not stop dissing the guy. To him, Sagawa looked dead inside, yawning. Are you even awake? Hearing the request, he rummaged through stuff, babbling nonstop. Registering? Huh. But the reception staff are all at the festival today. What do you want? I was about to finish my nap and go to the hero gathering. But you had to ruin it. Really annoying. That just gave Sagawa a worse impression of Grayman. That is how you treat guests. Check the info on this sheet. He suddenly shouted. Found it. Handing it to Sagawa, Grayman gave a brief explanation. Fill out this form. Actually, just your name and a death pledge are needed. After filling it out, Sagawa handed the paper back. He glanced over it, frowned, and spoke. So you are a 21-year-old hero. Here, take this. It is your Jew card. Sagawa's small, untrustworthy appearance made Grayman warn him seriously. Losing it costs money to replace, and if you lose it, you can only report it 3 days later. Only I can handle the paperwork hassle. Sagawa quickly replied, as if to ease the man's worries. Yes, I understand. But inside, Sagawa wondered anxiously. Do the staff here always take 3 days off after this? Don't they even like this job? Just taking a break when they can. To prove that thought, Grayman suddenly slammed the table like a madman. Alright, that is enough. Hang in there, kid. Oh right. Whatever it is, wait 3 days before doing it. Otherwise, you will just dump all the work on me again. Seeing his hot temper, I was sweating bullets. How much does he really hate this job? Somehow, the moonlight shone brightly all over the place. Sagawa sighed, reflecting on everything he would just been through. In the end, he ignored that guy's complaints. Thanks to him, things actually got done. The mission. Grayman seemed almost furious. You dare? Sagawa, resting in his room, had to watch and comment. It is his job after all, always complaining about not wanting to work. But you do not care. From now on, just grind hard and earn money at Ankh. His sharp face suddenly flushed bright red. After making a name for himself and settling down, he planned to confess to her again. Suddenly he got so hyped up, he could not sleep that night. His shout echoed all the way up to the sky. This love will definitely bear fruit. The neighbor's scolding voice also rang out. What are you yelling about? As the sun rose, the drifting clouds instantly turned bright white. 1 week since he joined the guild, thanks to hard work, he was promoted to rank D. Grayman clenched his teeth, trying to suppress his anger as he stared at the person in front of him. Hey, there is a very beautiful lady over there waiting. Be like everyone else. Run over and ask her to handle it for you. What is your problem? Why do you keep bothering me like this? Calm down and listen till the end. Sagawa just smiled confidently, like he was teasing a dog. When I arrived, I was gonna line up with that beautiful lady too, but my feet just walked themselves over to Grayman's spot. Hearing this nauseating nonsense, he could not help but shout in rage. Cut that out for me. Please, you are just piling more work on my head. Everything you do always seems to have some deep reason behind it. Even after everyone returned, he still asked Grayman to handle the mission paperwork. It is tough, but this guy really gets things done. Just joking though. Grayman only knows how to follow orders from above. At least he does his assigned job. Fair enough. But I am not the receptionist. The hero welcome festival. His mumbling completely drowned out by Sagawa's excited chatter. Round and round. Suddenly, a mysterious sound caught both their attention. He quickly turned outside, puzzled, wondering what was going on. From afar, a familiar voice to Sagawa suddenly appeared. Excuse me. Can I get through please? 2 young men sneakily stared at the figure. Before she could say anything, the crowd around erupted in chaos. Cecilia, the guild's noble lady, was here. The scene shifted to a carriage racing down the road. Cecilia spoke from inside. Sorry, I planned to meet you earlier, but the victory ceremony and party took longer than expected. Hearing this, Sagawa quickly waved it off. No worries. This is also a chance to change my reincarnated life. No need to be so formal. She bowed lightly and said softly, yes, thank you for forgiving me. Then he looked at Cecilia, puzzled. How did you find me so fast? She frowned and replied, at first, I wondered how you found me, thinking you would disguise yourself outside. But surprisingly, you looked just the same as when we first met. Seeing her scary expression, Sagawa nervously stammered, is something wrong? Cecilia immediately broke into a big sweat. Big problem, you refused to disguise yourself and even used your real name like that. After hearing that, he immediately pointed at me and said, but I clearly changed my appearance. You have to bear the pain and cut off your own horns. Then fold your wings back in. Hang in there. This is the price for a fresh new life. She was a bit worried and hesitated to explain, but his expression stayed the same. All the heroes already knew. At least put on some glasses. Meanwhile, the coachman turned around and called out, We have arrived at the mansion. Lady Cecilia. The two of them stepped down, and Segawa looked up at the mansion with a shocked expression. Then he marveled. It is you. Suddenly, two sharp spear tips appeared out of nowhere, pointed right at Segawa's face. Two guards raised their weapons and loudly ordered, "Who are you? Stay away from Lady Cecilia." Now, seeing this, he narrowed his eyes with slight annoyance. He remembered seeing this attitude when leaving the guild, and whispers filled the air full of envy. After that guy, she went with Lady Cecilia. The coachman shot him a glare full of displeasure. Right then, Cecilia stepped in front of Segawa and defended him. "Lower your weapons at once. He is my friend." Hearing that, the guards clicked their tongues in dissatisfaction. It seemed someone like him was not allowed near her. Cut to inside. Two people sat facing each other in silence. Then she looked him straight in the eye and said firmly, "Can you quit the guild?" Segawa blinked in surprise after hearing that, expecting some progress. She hesitated and asked, "Sorry, but why stop now? I just want you to give up the new job." Cecilia gently explained, "Let me be clear. Even though the Demon King was defeated by the heroes, the dangers are not gone yet." Segawa nodded knowingly. "I know that. Even if the Demon King is gone, monsters still roam the world. Of course. Their numbers have dropped, but their actions can still harm human lives." Then she squinted and continued, "You might not know, but the Garrus nation is still boosting its military strength. The threat from demon armies has lessened, but now the danger of war between nations is rising, starting with the Clarion's Empire. Neighboring countries have begun military moves, like sending marriage proposals involving princesses or noble daughters to the hero guild captain." He listened and thought to himself, "Heroes sure attract the ladies." Cecilia added, "Not just him, but me and my teammates too." Suddenly Segawa stepped toward Seko, slammed the table, and shouted, "You accepted too?" Cecilia blushed and stammered, "I only went to meet them. I turned them down smoothly, so do not cut me off like that. If you get famous now, you will become a target for other kingdoms. So I want to hire you privately and pay you separately. That way, your identity will be protected." But at the same time, Segawa asked suspiciously, "Are you sure you can pay me?" She quickly replied, "Your power is beyond even its rank adventurer in the guild. Honestly, I can afford someone that strong." Then Cecilia hugged herself, blushing and embarrassed. "You said you loved me from the first time we met. After all." But then she saw Segawa lower his head, face darkening, murmuring quietly. Suddenly, he stood up and loudly cut in, "Stop right there. I want to love you openly, but not like this. I have a charm on me. So even if assassins or bounty hunters come, I am not worried. Don't try to seduce me like that. You are underestimating me." After his little act, the room fell silent. Segawa, sweating and embarrassed, wondered if he would gone too far. Cecilia sat opposite, covering her mouth, trying to hold back, but she could not hold it any longer and burst out laughing as she spoke. "Sorry. I just could not stop laughing all of a sudden. You saw that and blushed, freezing with that expression." Stopping singing, then Cecilia bowed her head slightly and said softly, "Sorry, sir." Segawa scratched his head awkwardly and spoke up. Suddenly hearing that answer made me really intrigued. She looked at you and happily said, "It is nothing. I just lost control of myself and blurted it all out. I will temporarily believe you were human in your past life. There is no way a demon could be this funny." Segawa frowned and forced a smile, questioning, "So you still have some doubts?" Cecilia just smiled softly and said, "Nothing really. I just need to verify it." Seeing her expression, you were confused, wondering why she was whispering like that. Then Cecilia spoke up, "I have something to do next, so let us stop here for today. It was fun. See you next time." At the same time, Segawa hesitated a bit and made a request. "Me too. I have something to ask your permission for." She heard that and curiously asked, "What is it?" Then you gathered your courage and said, "From now on, can I call you Cecilia?" Cecilia happily replied, "Yes, and I will call you Yuki-san." Segawa got excited and said loudly, "Okay, okay." Then you left but did not forget to say goodbye. "Goodbye, Cecilia." She happily waved back. "Goodbye." You got a promise to meet again from her. The distance between you two shortened a bit, and it was another new day. Segawa's face lit up with excitement as he skipped, saying, "Today's weather is perfect because I got to see grass again. This really is the best day of my life." But suddenly his mood shifted from happy to annoyed. The gate guard stubbornly refused to let you in. Then two guards stepped forward loudly saying, "Miss, you have to see the brave warrior. Please leave quietly. You look suspicious." Segawa, seeing them chase him away, muttered angrily, "Damn it, why did the brave warrior have to show up? You had a promise. They can use force here." He sighed and thought, "No choice. Just kill time wandering the streets." Following his words, you quickly moved down the street. Ahead, people were gathering. Segawa frowned, wondering why everyone was gathering like that. At the same time, Javen's face appeared in the crowd, along with calls, "Sir Swordsman." You looked at him and frowned, thinking, why does that guy look familiar? The crowd's admiring voices continued, So elegant, you said seriously. That guy is actually the brave warrior's comrade, Captain Javen of the Swordsmen. Right? Segawa looked at Javen and guessed. He must be feeling suspicious. Seeing someone in trouble, you had to act and pointed elsewhere. Shouting. Over there. The brave warrior is coming, they panicked. Shouting. Brave warrior Sama. Brave warrior Sama. You just sneered silently. Idiots. The crowd dispersed, leaving only Javen standing clueless. Segawa shouted loudly. Okay. But now let us get out of here. Then suddenly he grabbed your wrist. He was still trying to act tough. Segawa thought. Whatever. I am not helping to get thanked anyway. Then spoke up. Alright then. Next time remember to disguise yourself better. Suddenly he hesitated and shouted. Wait. Wait. You could not help but glare and turn back to look. Then you asked. What do you want to say? You were a bit surprised. He acts tough but sounds like a female anime character. Then Segawa questioned. So you always keep quiet and act cold because of that voice? Raven honestly replied, yes. Then you said frankly. Everyone has something they do not want to show. I am no different. Then he hesitated and asked again. So you won't laugh at me because of this voice? Segawa crossed his arms and said, a birth defect is not your fault. You are really a strange guy. Most people do not look at me normally either. You must have a hard time hiding this voice. Pretending to be tough must be tiring. I am not laughing at you. I have been through the same thing in a past life. Raven felt shy and gave a hesitant smile upon hearing those words. Oh really? At the same time, he thought nervously to himself, time to go before they misunderstand and think I am trying too hard to be friends with the heroes. Segawa firmly suggested, let us part ways here. But suddenly he grabbed him firmly and loudly said, wait a minute, can you be friends with me? Segawa froze for a moment after hearing that. Seeing his reaction, Raven quickly explained awkwardly, you seem troubled. Before, only my mom did not laugh at this weird voice of mine. Since he was sincere, there was no reason to refuse. Then Segawa introduced himself. My name is Yuki. Nice to be friends. Raven was pleased and responded cheerfully. Really? Thanks, Ivan. Pleased to meet you. After 20 years of reincarnation, he finally made a friend. They introduced themselves and shook hands. Then Segawa hesitated and spoke up. Hey, you look like someone I have met before. He nervously denied it. Sweating. Must be a coincidence. Scene shifts to the Adventurers Guild. On the table is a meal tray at the guild. Segawa ate while silently commenting. The breakfast here is really good. Have to eat well to have the energy for missions. At that moment, Celia approached and said with a choked voice, this tastes amazing. He was stunned but glanced sideways without forgetting. Then Segawa bit into a bread roll. Puzzled, wondering silently, who is this? I do not remember ever meeting such an elegant woman. When did she even show up? Suddenly she smiled and exclaimed, just as my daughter described. He is interesting. He widened his eyes in surprise hearing that. Meanwhile, Celia introduced herself warmly. I am Celia, Cecilia's mother. Pleasure to meet you, Yuki-kun. After learning her true identity, Segawa panicked internally. And mom? He nervously said loudly. Yes, pleased to meet you, madam. Then Segawa quickly stuffed all the bread into his mouth. He hurriedly tried his best to swallow it all. Nearby, Celia laughed happily. Night in Oso Forest. Leaves rustling in the wind. Segawa slowly looked around. Today he was assigned to this dark forest. Segawa continued his tasks at the guild. He had reached rank. Segawa muttered, eliminate coca rice. Here, recently, he had been trying harder because he knew all the heroes liked Celia's carriage. Suddenly something rustled in the bushes. Segawa quickly glanced that way. At that moment, a tall figure in shining metal armor jumped out, pointing a sword at Segawa. He immediately stepped back. There, then Segawa raised his hand, gathering inner power. What? He thought to himself, magic? Suddenly the figure spoke. Hey, Captain, is that you? Segawa shouted in surprise. Is it really you? The person in front of him was a subordinate from the Demon King's castle, the Night Duck. On the day he was swayed by Cecilia, he silently obeyed the terrifying Segawa. Sure enough, it is the captain. Where is your lord's wing? Where have you been all this time? You panic and try to calm down. Calm down. But Duck keeps shouting. The captain has disappeared. The Demon King has been defeated. I was really worried. Duck reminds us happy news and Sek were worried too. Segawa hears this and wonders. Did they come here too? Duck does not answer right away but turns and urges. Just a little further, and we will reach the meeting point. Captain, let us. Moments later. After arriving, a short-haired girl with huge wings looks at Segawa with a faint expression and speaks. She is alive. Unlike her expression suggests, the girl behind her beams with joy. The captain, emotionless, is the rogue. Happy news. Beside her is Fairy Sek. Both used to be Segawa's subordinates. Sek run, hugging Segawa tightly as she nervously strokes his head, asking if everyone's still alive. Duck sighs. A bit salty. Don't just cut people off like that. Suddenly Xich remembers something and laughs, saying the Demon King was defeated by the heroes, so the three of us had to flee the castle on the run. Duck cried out as she called, Captain. There, Duck shyly said, do not tell that story. Segawa blushes immediately. He is happy thinking they have always cared about him, suddenly feeling really joyful inside. But a moment later, their laughing and chatting echoes again. Captain, did not you feel helpless? Not sure if you were crying or something. Segawa sighs, blocking out the discouragement. What are you expecting from these guys? Suddenly someone speaks up. Well, it is good we found each other. Captain, what happened to your wings? Segawa calmly replies, I broke them all off. As he says this, an awkward silence falls. Sitch laughs so hard she holds her stomach and rolls on the ground. Captain, what are you doing? Duck interrupts. Finally cracked. Segawa embarrassedly shakes his head, thinking he needs to explain better. Under their gaze, he confesses he confessed to the cute nun in the hero group, so now he is human. But even after saying that, they keep looking at him suspiciously. Sego sighs in defeat and says, basically it is like this. A moment later, Duck bursts into tears. Captain, why are you chasing after a woman like that? Captain of the demon tribe, you are so irresponsible. Happinett seriously scolds him. Not acting right. Segawa calmly reminds, hey, now I am human, living a normal life. I am no longer your captain. I will do whatever I want now. Duck shakes her head, refusing. You are still our captain. Happinett coldly says yes, and Sitch nods in agreement beside her. I do not like it either. Segawa nervously repeats, but I am not anymore. Though they completely ignore him now. Duck asks curiously, is that cute nun really pretty? Happinett nods. A little beauty. Sitch laughs excitedly. I have already seen her. Watching this, Segawa feels utterly helpless, thinking these guys won't listen at all. How could they know all this? They are obsessed. Captain's head over heels for a human, so they will definitely meet. In short, we are coming to see that person too. Segawa is utterly confused. He seriously warns them that he now has to go on a mission to eliminate coca chips, so he can only look after them up to this point before he finishes. Happinett starts, eyes sparkling as she looks at Segawa. Done. Time to go now. Right? Segawa slowly asks. If that is the case, you all seem pretty determined. They answer in unison. Of course. No doubt about it. It should be fine. After the bad luck was over, Sitch excitedly planted them. It was perfect to avoid falling. The helmet and iron armor must be used. The forge roared loudly. Captain, this is a bit troublesome. Sitch only has wings, but since he is still a teenager. Sitch muttered. So many interesting things. So the wings are still small. Just need to wear clothes and it will be fine. The problem is happy news. A strange girl, her arms are wings, and her legs are covered in feathers. In the end, I respected her decision and cut off all the feathers. That was happy news' wish. There is nothing to regret. A steady voice rang out. The mission to eliminate coca cheese is complete. The guy at the counter looked at Segawa oddly. Those three are your teammates. Hey. Someone-s crying. Segawa shook his head frantically. I do not know anything. And so they stayed with the three girls at Cecilia's feet. At Cecilia's mansion, she muttered in dissatisfaction. This is really terrible. At that moment, Happy News buried her head in Cecilia's chest. Crying, kind-hearted Segawa gritted his teeth, thinking that brat Happy News dared to snitch about cutting off feathers. Segawa sat upright in his chair with a suspicious smile. Cecilia warned him. Even if it is to change your appearance to look more human, how can a girl accept that? You should reflect on yourself? Segawa bowed his head and muttered. Everyone's right. I was foolish. Now I am starting to regret it. Suddenly Cecilia asked. But those people are his old subordinates. Really? She looked at them and could not help but sigh. They seem close, right? Next to Segawa, Juke scanned with admiration. Such a massive arena. Six nodded in agreement. Even bigger than the Demon Lord's arena. Six's sweet voice chimed in. Originally the forge was not like this. There were many quiet, reserved nights. The first time I met the captain, I did not like him either. Partly because he was already quite famous in the Demon Lord's arena. Cecilia's eyes widened in surprise at the word famous. Duck quickly jumped in. He is notorious for being a weirdo who never leaves the arena. And he is famous for telling his superior Zakia directly, you better not leave this room, even if I am here later. Segawa interrupted in alarm. The more Duck talked, the harder Six laughed. Everyone tried convincing him to leave many times, but he just ignored them. Once, as a subordinate, I boldly went to meet him, but I got pushed back. Since then, I ended up like this. Segawa forced a smile, recalling that she was the first subordinate. So it is natural she was affected somewhat. Maybe I even changed her mindset a bit too much. Cecilia asked, what about the other two? They immediately looked around. Happy News and Six wait. Where are they? Segawa panicked. Could they have left the room? Even in disguise, bad luck can still happen. Scene shifts to another room. A steady voice says, yes, right at the waist there. Segawa stood outside, glaring inside. Now Sophia calmly reminded, do not forget this position later. Happy News replied politely, yes. The boy shyly interrupted. Sophia-san, that girl is a member of my group. Sophia was surprised and asked, is not she a new maid? Today we expected a new maid, so I thought she was the guest. Segawa immediately stepped forward to pull her away. Sophia shook her head. What a shame. I thought she would become a beast-loving maid. But anyway, let us... Sorry for the rudeness. Happy News is already dressed. Outside. Segawa muttered. Next is... Where could she be? Her curiosity is the biggest worry. Suddenly he glanced at the glass door beside the garden. Looks like he worried too much. Segawa quickly ran over and saw Six sleeping soundly on Celia's lap. She gently stroked her hair and said, What a sweet girl. Did you get lost and end up here? Celia seemed to notice Segawa's presence, lifting her eyes coldly. Curious little one. You are here. Huh. Behind, there were 2 other girls too. Right? Segawa panicked and explained. They are just teammates. She won't bother you. Celia replied comfortably. I like kids, so it is fine. I just took the girl for a little walk around the garden, but she seemed too tired and fell asleep. Segawa hesitated. So that is what happened. After a while, they had to leave. Celia waved happily. Come again next time. Okay. As soon as they stepped outside, Segawa turned back to remind them. Satisfied now. Time to split up. Don't tell me you plan to keep following me, he said, but they were not shy and nodded in unison. Smiling slyly. Exactly. Happy News said shortly. Of course. Sik was excited and eager to follow. Segawa was sure of it just as expected. And so, I ended up living with my 3 old companions. That's Happy News. And Sik. But things did not stop there. The next day, Segawa gently rang the doorbell, apologizing for the disturbance. Happy News had been invited by Sophia-san to serve as a maid for the Akaran household. She opened the door calmly. Come in. Segawa muttered. Impressed. That fits perfectly. Happy News bowed. Please take your time, sir. He thought to himself. Not bad at all. Celia shyly said. You are here already. Sit there and wait for me a moment. You have met the new maid. Right? After sitting down, Segawa spoke up. What did you want to talk about today? Celia bowed her head. Actually, I want Celia's carriage to go on a vacation. This surprised Segawa. A vacation, she began explaining. Lately, with the engagement and all the long parties, the girl looks exhausted. I want her to rest for a day. Celia is usually very stubborn, so she would not agree to rest without a good reason. Segawa finally understood the situation. Celia continued softly. Since Celia is a girl, I thought she would enjoy shopping. I want you to go along with her. Segawa's face darkened slightly. He was certain this was a parent-arranged date. Excited, Segawa jumped up. Yes. I understand. Leave it to me. Celia smiled openly. I thought you would say that, so I already prepared the carriage. Celia was waiting outside, in the courtyard. She had changed into a very sweet outfit. She spoke softly. Yuki-chan. Those words made Segawa blush and hesitate. Sorry for keeping you waiting. He thought, I told her to try dressing like this a long time ago. She looks so different today, so beautiful. Cecilia's eyes sparkled with cuteness as she smiled. It is I knew Yuki-chan would come. Let us. After a while, they arrived at the resort. Segawa removed his odd sunglasses. Do I have to disguise myself too? Cecilia calmly explained. If I get caught, it won't affect you. Hearing this, Segawa quickly interrupted. Let us just relax and enjoy today. Cecilia laughed at his words. Clearly excited, the two entered a clothing store in the mall. Cecilia picked out a floral dress she liked. She immediately tried it on in the fitting room, and when she stepped out, her beauty made Segawa not hesitate to give a thumbs up. As the afternoon waned, Cecilia sighed. Today was so much fun. I have been pretty tired recently, but going out like this was wonderful. Segawa smiled gently. Hearing you say that makes me happy too. Suddenly, they stopped in front of a shop. Segawa looked up. A jewelry store. Can we go in? Cecilia nodded. Sure. Then suddenly, a young man shouted from behind. It was Yuga and Megana, who exclaimed in surprise. Cecilia, is that you? Yuga loudly called out. Hey Cecilia, Season. Segawa hurried over and covered his mouth. Hey, idiot, Segawa whispered. She is in disguise. Calling her name like that might get her caught. Are you nuts? Embarrassed, Yuga scratched his head. Got it. Sorry. Megana. Cecilia hesitated. It is Segawa sighed in frustration beside her. Good. Now Yuga suddenly excitedly spoke up. But why is Cecilia here? We rarely go out for a stroll. Maybe Cecilia came along too. Segawa looked at him oddly and thought, hey, do not you see me here? Then he could not help but remind him. Sorry. I am here. I am her companion. Hearing that, Yuga asked again. Buddy. He nodded without hesitation and continued. All right then. You are coming too. You two were planning to enter this shop, right? Taking the hint, Yuga stepped forward and pulled Cecilia's hand. Let us. Segawa hurriedly shouted. Wait. At that moment, Megana complained. Seriously. I am out here on a date with Yuga Koma. What bad luck. Finally got some time to relax and shop together like old times. And now this, Segawa thought silently. just like old times. So they really are childhood friends. She always seems to be casually flirting with other guys though, yet she is honest about stirring up trouble. Suddenly Megana turned her head suspiciously and asked, "You like that nun, right? You two are actually dating, are not you? Can you try harder?" Maybe then Yuga would give up on that nun. She is tiny and fragile, but her face is not exactly pretty. I guess I can expect much. Come on, let us. We can just leave those two behind. Segawa was annoyed by Megana's words, feeling cold inside. I was planning to support her, but she is really mean. A little later, Segawa found the two of them at a jewelry store. As soon as Cecilia saw him, she gently said, "Yuki-san, sorry for going ahead." Segawa looked around and marveled. There is a lot of women's accessories here. Since we are here, let us buy something. Which one should I pick? Before he could finish, Yuga naturally cut in. Right? I will pick something for Megana and Cecilia too. They both stood in front of the counter observing. Segawa wondered, are they competing? I am only buying for Cecilia, at this moment. Yuga muttered, which one should I choose? Suddenly Segawa exclaimed, this one looks good. Cecilia quickly tried on a simple, exquisite necklace. Her eyes lit up with delight as she praised. So beautiful. Yuki-san, you have great taste. At that moment, Yuga grabbed an oversized necklace and shouted, Cecilia, I picked this for you. You are going to wear it, right? Immediately all three looked at him with strange expressions. He muttered to himself, expensive does not always mean good. This guy has no taste. Yet Yuga did not care and urged Cecilia, put it on so I can see. Just as Yuga raised his hand, he accidentally knocked Cecilia's glasses off, revealing her face clearly. Segawa panicked and shouted, hey. Megana could not hold back either and scolded inside the store. Seeing Cecilia, the crowd swarmed. Oh wow, is not that Cecilia-sama? And the hero-sama beside her. Looks like Megana-sama is here too. They quickly got surrounded by a crowd so tight they could not move. Megana was furious. Idiot Yuga. Everyone was searching. Where is Cecilia? Yuji-san, where are you? Hey, do not disturb the store. After a long while, the four finally escaped the store. Megana sighed warily. That was awful. Segawa gave a weak smile. Yuga, knowing it was his fault, just forced a smile. Cecilia nodded in agreement. Yeah, your taste sucks. Damn Yuga. The next day, at Cecilia's mansion, her face darkened but she wore a very sinister smile. Segawa cried out in shock. Then Cecilia spoke up. Actually, Cecilia's sick. This shocked Segawa immediately. Cecilia, are you okay? Cecilia, Segawa anxiously explained. Calm down and listen carefully. She is resting in her room now. Seems like the chaos yesterday was her breaking point. Segawa hung his head, regretting silently. It is all my fault. Seeing his attitude, Cecilia calmly reassured him. Come on, do not be so down. She just caught a mild cold. It should pass in a few days. Yuki-kun, do not blame yourself. Yesterday when you went with her, it was mostly my fault and yours too. Segawa was trembling all over. Maybe the hero was a bit too much for her. He did a good job taking care of her while out, but coming back yesterday was just bad luck. Cecilia smiled and continued. She told me how you tried to make her happy. If there is a next time, I will count on you again. Before you leave, can you come see Cecilia? Now in Cecilia's room, Segawa hesitantly spoke. I am sorry about yesterday. It was hard to get some rest. And then that happened. Cecilia slowly said, it is not your fault. Yuki-san. Actually, Yuki-san did mess up. Segawa nodded. Startled. Yeah, I was terrible. At that moment, Cecilia blushed slightly and said softly, because of you, Yuki-san, my vacation was not perfect. Next time, please do your best. Segawa also fi? In his head. The question popped up. Does that mean a promise for the next date? He jumped up excitedly and shouted, leave it to me. Yesterday was just a fluke. Next time, nothing like that will happen. Trust me. Safia angrily grabbed his collar and threw Segawa out of the room. She is a patient, so quiet. After that, Safia kicked him out for a few days. Cecilia's health recovered, and Segawa sighed in relief. Luckily, Cecile smiled shyly. Sorry for making you worry. Today you can finally focus on work at the guild. Just then, Grayman casually started talking. Hey, let me tell you this story. His tone made Segawa freeze. Huh? Why is Grayman telling me about his romantic stories with him? Grayman happily said. My wife's been in a great mood lately. Segawa crossed his arms coldly. I do not care. You are married. But Grayman ignored this completely. He went on. Maybe something fun happened at work. Because she has been really nice to me. Segawa imagined Celia's face. If I married her, I would be loved every day. Softly, she reminded. Dinner time. Yuki-san. Thinking this, He blushed and slapped his face. Stop dreaming. Suddenly Grayman turned around and asked loudly, "What is all the noise about?" Segoa immediately glanced over, hesitated, then saw Raven arrogantly walking in. Segoa quickly stood, and neither spoke first as they faced each other. Raven casually waved behind Segoa. He paused, guessing, since there are many people here, it is not convenient to talk. That must be it. Then he turned to ask Grayman, "Hey Grayman, I want to take the mission with Raven. Is that okay?" He replied, "Yeah," but Segoa suddenly got caught up in the never-ending talk about the B-rank mission. The rock clearing quest. Is that okay? Raven pulled his sleeve. Segoa did not notice and kept going. "Let us pick this one. Let us." "Sounds good." A moment later, the carriage started moving. Segoa took a chance and asked, "Didn't you want the mission?" Raven nodded coldly. "Yeah," Segoa said awkwardly. "Sorry for misunderstanding you." Probably only Segoa and Raven left the city. After hearing this, Raven's cheeks flushed. This is my first mission with a teammate anyway." Segoa muttered, "What a hassle," then suddenly suggested, "If we team up, we will be back by sunset, right? Let us finish the mission quickly and go eat dinner." Raven cheered excitedly. Scene change. In a dark forest, they held swords and spears. Scanning around, Raven whispered, "Yuki, after this battle, I have something to discuss with you." Segoa tensed up, thinking, something bad is about to happen. He replied slowly, "Got it. Let us finish off these guys quickly." Segoa silently looked up and immediately saw a terrifying sight. A giant mutant beast appeared. Roaring piercingly, Raven shouted, "It is here. Get ready." Segoa quickly followed his command. He raised his hand, gathering a strong swirling energy. Segoa guessed, the outer layer is all hard rock. To hit it, I will have to use this. At that moment, Segoa seized the chance and threw the energy ball at the mutant. Stormbell. It slammed its sharp claws into the ground. Segoa's attack made the mutant scream in pain. The wound on its belly made it furious and wild. Segoa raised his hand and shouted. Right then, as he finished, Raven dashed in and struck a lethal blow with his sword to the mutant's body. At this moment, Segoa breathed a sigh of relief. "That was tough. Let us head back quickly." "Really impressive." Raven could not help but praise. "Ilki, you are doing pretty well too. The rest can be handled by the guild members." A little while later, they arrived back home. At the dining table, Segoa suddenly spoke up. "Oh right. You said you had something to discuss, Ilki." Raven hesitated before asking, "Will you listen to me?" Segoa replied calmly, "If you are okay with it, just go ahead." Now Raven shyly opened up. "Actually, I have already fallen for someone. Right now, he is dressed up to borrow some accessories." That caught Segoa completely off guard. Raven smiled and continued, "Sorry, but the only person I can really talk to about this is you, Ilki." He thought to himself, could it be he is asking for love advice? Segoa started asking, "What kind of person is she?" Raven suddenly became strangely nervous. Muttering repeatedly, She is not put off by my voice. Actually, she likes it and envies me for it. What should I do? I have zero confidence." Segoa could not help but think watching him. Sounds like a middle schooler going through puberty. Handsome, too, still, since he is a former hero. Single, and good-looking. Once he fixes his voice problem, Segoa believed he would be fine. At that moment, Segoa strongly slammed the table. "No other way." He urgently shouted, "Raven, do not you see? You are handsome and tall. Besides, you are the hero who saved the world alone." Changing your voice. "If she mocks you for that, she is not worth it. Look at me. My face is nothing special. Just an average adventurer, and I get rejected every time I confess. But look at me now. Have you ever seen me with a gloomy face?" "Exactly. Just go for it. You can do this." Segoa pointed at Raven, ordering, "Be confident." Raven slowly bowed his head and said quietly, "Is that so? Maybe I've been too hard on myself. Thank you so much. I am lucky to have talked to you, Yuki. Tomorrow, I will try confessing to her. Will you come with me? The morning should be sunny." Segoa noticed Raven's strange expression and wondered if he was nervous. Right away, he stepped forward to reassure him. "Just that alone means you are already amazing. Don't worry. Hero, you are the guild leader after all. Just be confident. Raven, you can do it." Raven whispered, "I hope," encouraging and supporting him. Segoa excitedly clapped. "Awesome. Handsome guy." Move forward. A little later. After arriving, Raven muttered, "Here we are. This is the place." Segoa's eyes widened in disbelief. He thought. Cecilia's house. Raven bowed his head with a smile. "Thank you, Yuki. Thanks to you, I got the courage to confess to her. I'm going now? In Sego's mind, an image of Cecilia appeared. He looked around nervously, wondering, could Raven like Cecilia? Did I just give him a chance by mistake? Some time passed. Then Raven came out looking exhausted. Segoa reached out to touch him. Raven hesitated and explained, I got rejected. She said it can't be. Yuki tried to help me confess, but I am sorry. Then he turned away blankly. I am going home, he said. Segawa thought, that is rough. First confession failure hits hard. I need to help him gain experience. I should go see Cecilia, after Segawa asked. Cecilia was surprised and replied, huh? Raven? He did not come to see me. Sweat dripping intense. Segawa thought, he did not come? Then the person Raven likes is not Cecilia. Curious? Cecilia asked what happened. Segawa stammered and then told her the whole story. Cecilia murmured, so that is how it is? Could it be the maid here, right? Let us go ask Sophia. Maybe she knows something. They quickly went to Sophia's room. Cecilia was curious. What happened? Segawa hesitated, then told the full story to her. Cecilia immediately held the stream as she realized. So that is how it was. Could it be the servant here? Oh right. Let us go ask Sophia. Maybe she knows something. They quickly headed to Sophia's room. After Sophia understood the whole story, she gently said, Raven-sama. You say? Yes. She came here that day, wanting me to call a maid. I think it was Happy News, the new girl. She said. Then the two rushed off to find Happy News. She asked sharply, what is going on? Segawa started questioning. Did a handsome red-haired guy come here earlier to confess to you? Why did you respond like that to him? Happy News calmly replied, that is impossible. Segawa pressed on. You must have met that swordsman before, right? How did you two meet? Can you tell me? This time, Happy News quietly turned away. I can tell. Segawa panicked and called out, waving his hand in midair. Hey, did she turn back or not? A moment later, back inside the mansion, Segawa seriously put his chin on his hand and said, that is the situation. In short, I want Raven and Happy News to meet and talk. Cecilia shyly replied, yes, Raven-san has helped me before. Duck-san, how long have you been here? Segawa said to Duck. You have known Happy News for a long time, right? He snapped his fingers cheerfully. Leave it to me. I will bring her here. First, let me briefly explain Happy News' situation. You know that the demon clan female, Happy, has become a target for hunters, right? Cecilia hesitated. Yes, Happy the demon is a species of stunning beauty. Humans always want to capture them as slaves or hunt them for their beautiful wings. Duck continued. Of course, Happy News is no exception. I accidentally met her while she was being chased by humans. Since then, we have become teammates. So even if humans express their feelings to her, I do not think she would accept. As he said this, the atmosphere immediately grew tense. Segawa then raised his voice. But I think Happy News has never really disliked Raven before. Cecilia curiously suggested. Maybe it is because she likes Raven's way of speaking, as you said. Duck nodded thoughtfully. That could be it, because the Happy race loves singing. It makes sense she would be drawn to Raven's voice. The three of them hesitated deeply. Segawa muttered. It would be great to hear Raven's side of the story now. For now, let us wrap this up. I will go back and ask Raven. Scene change. At the swordsman's residence, Segawa politely announced, Raven, I am coming in. As he stepped into the room, his eyes landed on a dark figure lying stretched out on the bed. Raven's eyes darkened with sadness. He slowly said, Yuki, sorry. You went through all that trouble to help me. Segawa awkwardly replied, Don't say that. By the way, I have something to ask. He cautiously began. I want to know how you two met. Raven sharply responded. What is the point of talking about that? Surprised by Raven's attitude, Segawa quickly reassured him. It is too soon to give up. Please, just tell me. Raven fell silent for a while, then began to recount. That day, I was wandering around checking the small alleys, muttering to himself, nothing unusual so far. Ahead of him was a scene of some thugs blocking a girl's way. Hey, little lady. What is wrong with hanging out with us for a bit? Instinctively, Raven gripped his sword tightly, then drew it and pointed it straight at them. His eyes instantly sharpened. An angry thug yelled, What are you doing, man? But before he could act, Raven jabbed his sword hard into the thug. At that moment, the thug suddenly realized, boss, run. He is a lone warrior, the leader of the swordsmen. Raven, fear gripped them instantly. Damn, are you kidding? We can beat him? Run. Raven sneered. Just a bunch of losers again. Suddenly, someone grabbed his shirt from behind and pulled hard. Happy Nick glared at him. Awesome. Raven hesitated, then cursed under his breath. He quickly covered his mouth. Damn. My voice. Happy Nick continued, her voice filled with envy. Raven thought. My voice. leaving Raven stunned. Happy Knit then turned and left. Thanks. Goodbye. Back to the present. Raven folded his hands quietly. That is how it happened. Got it. After hearing the story, it seemed Happy Knit was not completely indifferent to Raven. Segoa firmly dragged Raven off the bed. Anyway, you should get out of bed. Once outside, the two suddenly saw Duck. He spoke up. Captain, is this the person who confessed to Happy Knit? Who is this? Segoa, standing in the middle, shyly introduced. Raven, this is the friend of that maid. Duck continued seriously. Actually, Happy Knit is pretty traumatized by men. Do you think you can protect and heal her? That question immediately made Segoa stop and think, so the way Happy Knit sees humans is as men. That is why, even though she claims to hate humans, she's not bothered by Cecilia and Sophia Chan. That explains it. Little Raven responded sharply. I do not know. Duck loudly declared. Huh. Looks like I am the one who needs to fix you. I will kick your ass far away. As soon as Raven finished, he refused to back down and challenged Duck. What are you waiting for? Come on. Segoa rushed over nervously to break it up. Hey. Calm down. What is the point of arguing like this? Segoa advised. First, you have to befriend Happy Knit and understand what she wants. All right. Raven hesitated. Friends? Huh? Like what? And soon after, a passionate friendship was born there as Raven and Duck quickly grew close. He encouraged excitedly. Come on, keep it up. Brother, Raven happily replied. Thanks so much. At Cecilia's mansion, Happy Knit was focused on sweeping the yard while Raven nervously stepped forward. Segoa whispered. You can do it. Happy Knit quickly sensed Raven's presence and stopped what she was doing. At that moment, he shyly spoke up. Let us be friends. That made Happy Knit's cheeks flush bright red. She was a bit stunned, unable to find words. The atmosphere quickly grew emotional. After a moment, Happy Knit nodded softly. Yes, when Segoa's group heard the news, they were extremely excited. Segoa thought to himself, a miracle has happened. Has not it? Later, even though Happy Knit already knew everything, Cecilia carefully explained everything to her. Meanwhile, Duck became Raven's promising apprentice. Duck did not mind Raven's teasing and just went with it. It was just me and Six starting our two-person life in a rented house. Six sat on Segoa's lap, excitedly begging, Captain, let us go out. Segoa felt like screaming inside. Happy Knit, Duts, please come back here. The Segoa group's carriage had already been moving for a while. Six eagerly looked out the window. It is my first time riding in a carriage. Look, Captain. Six got overly excited. Segoa warned. Hey, do not get carried away with jokes. Honestly, today's mission was to inspect Dagus village. Cecilia, as a, also joined this operation, and you came to help her. Cecilia caught Segoa's gaze and asked curiously, are you okay? Six had just sat down. It was hard, but I finally got to come when she heard they were traveling by carriage. Six insisted on coming along. Cecilia smiled warmly at Six, thinking, so adorable. Meanwhile, Six clung to Segoa while he was talking. Actually, I am really grateful to you both for coming with me. Otherwise, I would not know if I could finish the job. Six's voice echoed through the forest. Leave it to me. Soon the group reached Daga's village. Cecilia looked around then commented, looks like this place was ravaged by bandits. Suddenly, an old man with a bandaged head appeared. Hey, is not that Cecilia Sama? She did not look at him but focused on assessing the situation. Just as I suspected. Can you help me gather the injured? The village chief nodded but glanced at Six and Segoa. I see. And who are these two? She introduced them while reassuring him. They are my friends, here to help everyone. Don't worry. Six blinked and said softly, hello? Segoa nodded and greeted, feeling it was safe. The chief bowed and said, in that case, thank you all. I will go call the others here. When they reached the injured villagers, Cecilia began treating them one by one. But with so many, Segoa started to worry. Cecilia looks exhausted. Even though he and Six helped, Cecilia's healing skills were irreplaceable. Seeing Cecilia's breathing grow heavy, Segoa advised, Cecilia, you should rest a bit. She stubbornly refused. I am faced with her stubbornness. He stood silently for a moment, then he used a charm on her. Holly Bell soon put her into a deep sleep. Segoa asked a nearby villager, excuse me, does Cecilia have a resting room here? She needs to rest a bit. She just fainted. That guy awkwardly handled it. I understand now. The room is empty this way. Before taking Cecilia to rest, Segoa gave Six some quick instructions. All right, Six. The rest is up to us. He eagerly replied. Leave it to me. Their efforts paid off. Everything settled smoothly. Cecilia woke up and softly called, Yuki-san. Segoa turned to respond as if nothing happened. Cecilia, everything's been taken care of. But his words caught as he saw Cecilia's darkened face. You already understand what I want to say, right? Seeing that, Segoa nervously broke into a sweat. Sorry for suddenly using magic on you like that. But I can't let you keep using your powers like this. Cecilia tends to overdo it. She glanced around and hesitated. I guess that is true. Yuki-san. Thank you so much. Segawa blushed, thinking. So cute. Always talking. Do not think that. While the three chatted, someone ran over and called out, sorry. There is a girl named Tiru inside the village. Could you come see her? The girl is not injured but has been weak since birth. Before the young man finished, Cecilia eagerly interrupted. Yes, please take us to her. That person showed the way. From here, we will head east into the forest. Ahead of them stood a small house nestled in the mountains. Inside, little Tiru timidly asked, Who are you? You are not from the village, right? Before she could say more, she started coughing hard. Cecilia could not help but apologize. Sorry for dropping by so suddenly. I am here on the village school's request. Tiru paused a moment, then nodded. Zik pulled out a small bottle. Here, take this medicine. Cecilia teased Zik beside her. Don't worry. He knows plenty. Zik pouted. What do you mean by that? After taking the medicine, Tiru's condition noticeably improved. I can feel the medicine working a bit, she said. Zik got even more excited. Great. You will get better. But you are lucky you did not go outside when the bandits attacked. The girl suddenly got more animated. It is because the village guardian god protected me. Tiru bowed her head and slowly explained. My late grandmother told me about the guardian god. This time, it protected me just like back then. The others listened cautiously. After hearing the story, Tiru offered daily offerings to the guardian god. On the day of the bandit attack, she was delivering offerings as usual when a sudden drowsiness overcame her, helping her escape the bandits' chase. Sick? Curious? Asked. So it was a sudden sleep? Could it be dark magic? Segawa considered that possibility too. Dark magic? But if so, that is nightmare magic. Each had their own thoughts. Cecilia looked at Segawa worriedly. It is hard to believe this village really has a guardian god. Tiru slammed the table, insisting, it is not hard to believe at all. Then the boy spoke up. Hey, where is this guardian god? The girl proudly patted her chest. The guardian god's shrine is nearby, so there is nothing to fear. The group turned pale seeing the stone statue above. No matter how you look at it, that is a demon statue. Tiru snapped, feeling insulted. Don't disrespect him like that. It is Stop. Suddenly, her coughing returned. Cecilia rushed over worriedly. Tiru tried to soothe her cough by patting her chest. Segawa's gaze grew strange. Cecilia, no matter how you look at it, it does not look like a guardian god at all. Cecilia stared at the kneeling statue and muttered. Looks like a demon no matter how you see it, he nervously said. First off, if that is the village guardian god, this shape is off. That stone statue looks exactly like the monsters that set traps in the demon lord's castle. Suddenly, the eyes of the Gegoi statue lit up. Giaragoi. It seemed to rush madly towards Segawa. He and Cecilia dodged and concluded, it really is Giaragoi, guardian god. It is obviously a demon. Segawa froze, seeing Cecilia had disappeared. Huh. Cecilia, because she was now holding a knife, attacking Gagoi, even stomping on his horned head. The battle ended quickly. Cecilia waved her hand, smirking. I win, Captain. What do we do next? A quick flick at the corner of the eye caught Segawa completely off guard. Hey, at least give me a heads up. That was way too fast. Gagoi growled angrily. What now? If you want to kill me, just do it already. He raised his voice. Holding the dagger up, Segawa paled and quickly stopped him. Wait, he spoke up with a proposal. I just want to hear your side of the story. The man hesitated. Confused. Aren't you here to kill me? He quickly explained. That previous attack had to be someone else. Gagoi settled back down and bowed his head. Right? It was not me. Judging by his expression, he went straight to the point. Looks like you already know my true identity from the Demon Lord's arena. He nodded shortly. I was there once too. Hearing that, he continued. But why would someone like you become this village's guardian? Gagoi began to open up. If we are like, I will tell you my story. This happened a few hundred years ago. He was born to protect a shrine, but was way too bored and spent most of his time sleeping. Hearing this, Sitch chimed in teasingly. Just like the captain, a total shut. Gagoi pondered and continued. One day, he was sleeping as usual. But during that sleep, mountain bandits kidnapped him. Sitch grinned holding his stomach. What an idiot. Gagoi frowned for a moment, then went on. The moment he realized his situation, he escaped the carriage and taught those thieves a lesson they would never forget. But since he left the shrine, he could never return. Gagoi sighed sadly about his fate. Nothing much happened after that. I wandered until I accidentally came to this village. And then this current situation, the bandits attacked the village before. So I took the chance to get revenge on them. On the other side, Sitch was still laughing. Oh man, My stomach hurts from laughing so hard. His interruptions did not stop the story. Once calm, Gagoi realized he had been living here the whole time. Just like that, the villagers worshipped him as a god. Segawa was now sure of his initial thought. This guy was definitely a troublemaker. Gagoi paused. Then Rementaru. Then I was honored as the village's guardian god, and there is a frail little girl who comes every day to bring offerings. Hearing this, he guessed. That must be Tiru-chan. He spoke of the attack from before. I knew those bandits came here, but I am only here to protect that little girl. Segawa rubbed his chin. Wondering, could he have some plan with Tiru-chan? He quickly cast a protective charm. I am not planning to harm her. Yeah, I used nightmare sleep on her, but it probably just made her nod off. That is all there is to my story. Now can you tell me who you really are? He found it reasonable and nodded. Fair enough. After the reveal, Gagoi laughed out loud. So you are just as weird as me, Demon Clan, having feelings for a human woman. Segawa blushed and shot back. So what? What is so funny? You got lost too. Sitch teased from the side. Lost? After a few jokes, he got back on topic. So you mean no ill intentions? Gagoi confidently said, of course not. I just live here. So even if something happens in the village, I am not protecting them. With no more mysteries, he turned to call Six. Then no problem. Let us go back. Six back to Tiru's little house in the woods. Cecilia, caring for Tiru, saw them return. Everyone's resting now. Did you find out anything? Segawa looked toward the forest where the girl was. Tiru-chan. She is asleep. Right? Cecilia was shocked by the news she just heard. Gagoi was really the guardian god. Segawa quickly reassured her. I know you are worried about demons in the village, but he won't cause trouble for anyone here. He has actually been pretty peaceful for hundreds of years. So no need to worry. Cecilia still felt a bit uneasy, but thinking simply. Six hesitated, then lazily said, Hey, I am This is boring. Hard to talk about. I am heading back home. Segawa casually pulled out a pouch of money. Here, take this and buy whatever you want to eat. Six eyes lit up as she accepted. Thanks. She dashed outside immediately. Segawa turned back. Shall we continue our talk about what we should do with this Gagoi guy? Should not we hold him first? We should prioritize treating the others in the village and take revenge on those bandits. For now, let us go ask the villagers for more information. Cecilia's eyes sharpened. Right? We really should focus on treating everyone first. Looking at the girl resting peacefully on the bed, the guardian spirit, Segawa quietly called to her. Well, we should probably head back now. Looking outside, the moon had risen. Yes, the two walked together down the quiet road. Segawa blushed, sneaking a glance at Cecilia. With the moonlight this bright, everything feels kind of romantic, does not it? Cecilia looked at him puzzled. Eyes wide. What is wrong? Segawa tried to sound casual as he answered vaguely. Nothing. It is just that mentioning girls. The next day, at Dega's village, Segawa stood to review the tasks for the day. Today, we will both treat everyone and gather information about that Gagoi fellow, as planned. Cecilia raised her staff proudly and declared, The treatment session begins now. Please form a line. The villagers gazed at Cecilia as if mesmerized. Not noticing Segawa was already simmering in vinegar. He looked as dark as a burnt pot. Only men understand men. These guys all have shady motives. Do not they? Sweet voices chimed in. Thank you so much. Iron Shackles. Segawa glanced inside, thinking, well, Iron Shackles is really popular with the young ladies. They are all blushing and acting so cute, so adorable. Iron Shackles smiled brightly in return. You are welcome. Segawa frowned, looking at himself. Meanwhile, in front of him were the village elders. Luckily, he was saved. Are you okay? Dear Kazan, don't want to. He sighed but told himself to let it go. During treatment, Cecilia took the chance to pursue her second goal. Excuse me, but is this the village's guardian spirit? The villagers started whispering. The village guardian. The demon statue inside the village. Taira-chan always faithfully offers prayers there, so everyone knew about it. Surprised, Segawa thought. So everyone knows it is a demon statue. He asked again, why does Taira-chan do that? A kind villager explained. Back then, she only occasionally brought offerings or cleaned the place. Until one day, she was attacked by a red fang. She was only 7 and frail. Just when she thought she was done for, she was suddenly saved. By now, he understood why Taro trusted Gego. So that is how it was. The villager added another story. Though it was just nonsense, no one liked that statue. So no one approached it. Segawa smiled and nodded. So that was it. At this point, Cecilia's gentle voice chimed in. Sorry, but even after asking around, I still have many questions. Taira-chan nodded. Me too. Segawa turned sour-faced again, thinking if those guys dared flirt with Cecilia, he would kick them away. These words made her blush as she reminded. Yuki-san, do you have any info? They only came to treat me, so please stop talking about that. He hesitated a moment, then told everything. About that, from the scraps of info. Cecilia nodded. I see. So he never attacked the village. Sounds like he was not exactly happy either. Actually, I think, to be safe, I want to talk to Gegoi-san. Segawa smiled. Trusting her. Got it. Then he turned and said, Sick, can you go to Tairo-chan and take care of her? It would not be good if something bad happened. Yes, a little later. Gegoi roared in anger. You. How dare you tell me to talk to humans? Suddenly, Cecilia bowed slightly. Are you Gegoi-san? I am Cecilia. Huh. I came to this village to treat those injured after the bandit attack. Yes, this human knocked out my rage. So you are the one that demon kid mentioned. What do you want from me? She hesitated a moment before asking. Is it true that you have no intention of attacking this village? Gegoi answered coldly. I have already told that kid I have no plans to attack or defend this village. I am just using this place as a resting spot. Hearing it directly, Cecilia finally believed it. So that is how it is? Exactly as she would heard. Gegoi's expression shifted. Maybe it is like this. A lolicon. Gegoi stared at him blankly, seeing their reaction. He thought, I wonder if lolicon even means anything in this world. After thinking hard, Gegoi angrily demanded, What does it mean? Tell me already. Segawa reluctantly explained. It is just a term from my previous world. Nothing else to say. The loud sound startled the birds, making them fly away. Gegoi's face twisted up. I am totally not into kids. Don't look at me like that. Segawa cleared his throat and opened a barrier. Really? If he can't do anything, then kick him out. I am done talking. I am heading back now. Don't say anything more to me, especially about that girl. Segawa and Cecilia returned to the village. She asked, Yuki-san, you are not a lolicon, right? He smiled confidently. Don't worry. I am only interested in Cecilia. That immediately made her blush. Cecilia scalded. Don't say stuff like that out of nowhere. He laughed it off. All right, let us go back to Ksik and Tairo-chan. Inside the house, a shout rang out. Wait up. Ksik-kun. Hearing that, Sika's face suddenly lit up. Taru approached with a happy face. I still have so many questions about the guardian deity to ask you. Faced with her enthusiasm, Ksik suddenly got scared. He pleaded desperately with Segawa. Captain, save me. Just then, a voice called out. Yuki-san. Cecilia, about the guardian deity this time. Segawa scratched his head and laughed. Sorry, but we have to get up early tomorrow morning. So we have to leave now, he added. Make sure you are back before dinner. Cecilia followed him and asked with concern. Ksik-kun will be okay? Right? Segawa shook his head. He will be fine. Taru-chan seems happy. The two walked together under the bright full moon. Then Segawa took her hand and said, Cecilia, be careful. It is dangerous at night. Hold my hand. She blushed shyly. Yes, thank you so much. Unconsciously, Cecilia looked up and saw his cheeks were red too. For no reason, hand in hand, they strolled through the quiet night, Cecilia smiling happily. Suddenly, a loud noise came from outside. Moments later, Segawa was sound asleep. Then Segawa suddenly woke up startled. An old man ran up terrified. Begging, please, save me. Bandits are attacking the village under cover of night. Hearing this, Segawa exclaimed. What? Realizing the situation, Segawa jumped up in a panic. What? Sick. Wake up. Huh. I just fell asleep. The sound of clashing swords rang out outside. The bandits fought fiercely, neither side giving an inch. Cecilia suddenly rushed to his side. Then, Yuki-san. He responded, a bit surprised. Cecilia said, a man pleaded desperately, saying everyone tried to fight back, but most are injured, so it is hopeless. Hearing this, Segawa shouted, let us get them back. Sick. Cecilia, I am counting on you for support. She nodded firmly. Still yawning, Zik ran as he spoke. Okay, I am coming up. Then everyone rushed straight toward a group of Tenkanodo. Seeing Sika's small build, a Tenkanodo sneered. What is this? No sooner said than he got kicked by Ksik. At the same time, Ksik drew a modified knife from his side. The Tenkanodo gasped in fear. Damn. Then he swung hard and took down quite a few Tenkanodo. Cecilia could not help but gape in amazement. Ksik hit. Watching Ksik's swift attacks, Segawa said proudly. He knows how to use his small, agile body confuse the enemy. That is something none of my other subordinates can do. As he said this, Segawa regained his strength and confidently said, Now, it is our turn to fight. Cecilia gripped her staff firmly and replied, I will support you both. He glanced at her briefly, thinking this might not be the time for wide-range magic. Then he attacked straight with his sword. Storm, where are you? As he fought fiercely, Segawa suddenly turned his head and exclaimed excitedly, Huh! Before him was a thick cloud of smoke. Segawa said anxiously, That smoke over there is Tier-chan's house. Sensing urgency, he looked at Ksik and ordered, Ksik, go to Tier-chan's house. I will handle things here. Ksik took off immediately, replying, Understood. Meanwhile, Sagawa braced himself and fought on, finally letting out a relieved breath after a while, wiping sweat from his face. Sagawa asked, "Is it all over now?" Then he suddenly noticed Sik still has not returned. Worried, he thought, could it be Sik lost to those mountain bandits? Cecilia approached, and Sagawa openly confessed, "I feel something's wrong." Angrily, he ran towards Sik's direction. Cecilia called after him, worried, "Yuki-san." Soon, he arrived at Tier's house. Sik saw him and hurried over. Not understanding what happened, Sagawa was horrified by what he saw and asked, "What is going on?" Cecilia saw this and quietly hugged the man on the ground while crying. Nearby stood a silent figure, showing no sign of grief or reaction. That was Mira. He glanced over and asked, "Hey, Sagawa, are those villagers? They look like some kind of notable people." Cecilia raised an eyebrow and asked, "Who are you?" Before he could answer, Sik charged forward with a spear. Mira calmly blocked it and said, "Enough already." He kicked Sik away, saying, "Kid." Sik flew back and started crying, slowly standing up. Sik looked fierce, grinding his teeth at Mira. Sagawa stepped in to stop him, waiting for Sik to calm down. He quietly asked it, "Calm down. What happened?" Sik explained that Gogoi was protecting Tairu from the bandits, but was suddenly attacked from behind. Mira listened and bluntly asked, "What? Is killing demons wrong? I thought it was tough enough to kill a demon. If you are this kid's parents, then you really should teach him better." Sik clenched his fists, ready to cry from frustration. Mira mocked him, crying, "Don't he get so worked up over me?" His evil eyes and mocking laughter stayed the same. Sagawa could not take it anymore and punched him, but Cecilia's staff blocked the blow. His hand went numb. Sagawa was stunned, wondering if his magic had disappeared. Cecilia warned him, "Just ignore him. He is not like you." Surprised, Sagawa turned and asked, "You know him?" She nodded. "He is a warrior from the Garrus Empire. The sword he carries is an artificial magic weapon, meant for magic users like Yuki-sanchi." Hearing this, Sagawa quickly said, Wait, in the Garrus Empire. Besides you from before, there are other warriors too." Cecilia continued, "He is a chosen warrior from the Clarion's kingdom. In other kingdoms, there are also chosen heroes, but only we are the ones who come to the Demon Lord's castle." Hearing this, you are shocked, thinking you never knew because you have been stuck inside the castle all day. Cecilia explains further that this artificial demon sword was created by the Garrus Empire, giving it special powers. It is modeled after a sword or demon sword, but can also take the form of a spear or mace. Just as the conversation got interesting, Mira, frustrated, snapped, "Hey, how long are you going to keep chatting?" He drew his sword arrogantly and said, "Let us finish this quickly." Sagawa shouted, "Wait, that guy is just trying to protect that little girl Tairu. He is not attacking humans." Hearing that, Mira retorted, "What are you talking about? Killing demons is necessary." Cecilia whispered gently to Sagawa, "Yuki-san, he has no honor as a hero at all." Under the hazy night and bright full moon, Mira arrogantly said, "I do not get it. If you are a hero, there is a good reason to kill demons. Isn't he taking missions from the guild complicated enough?" He glared and smirked. "I just want to kill them. Plain and simple." Mira kicked Tairu hard and said, "Get lost." The girl clung to his leg, crying and begging, "Stop, please do not hurt me." Mira lifted his sword and said plainly, "Well then, if you keep blocking my way." Cecilia stepped forward and shouted, "Please stop. A hero from the Garrus Empire like you is interfering with the Clarion's kingdom." Mira sneered, "I do not care, even if I pick a fight." "So what?" Pointing his sword at her arrogantly, he asked, "Will the Akaran family's princess see me as an enemy and fight back?" Sagawa stepped forward and gently placed his hand on her shoulder. He pulled her aside and whispered, while Cecilia anxiously called out, "Yuki-san." Mira, surprised, exclaimed, "What is the danger then? You want to fight me?" The boy dodged. Sagawa's eyes flared with intense anger. He growled to vent his fury, seeing Gargoy's body lying on the ground. Sagawa could not hold back and shouted. Gargoy was lying there, his body torn into pieces, even his hands were severed. He looked at everyone and said, "Tairo-chan, 6, and even Cecilia. He dared point his sword at them. That alone ignited a fierce fighting spirit in Sagawa. He told himself, "I want to forgive this." He started casting spells and said, "Get ready. I will personally send you to hell." Without hesitation, Sagawa launched a direct attack on Mira. Mira smirked and raised his sword. Hey, acting all heroic. Huh. Pathetic. That one T hurt me at all." Seeing his confidence, Sagawa's lips curled slightly as he replied, "That is just the opening move." As he spoke, he powered up his hands. His energy surged, targeting Mira with a relentless attack. Mira arrogantly said, "Like I said, using magic on me is just a waste. Don't tell me you know how to wield weapons." Sagawa proudly answered, "Too bad for you. You guessed wrong. I only know magic." But then Mira countered bluntly, "If that is the case, I am sure to win this fight. The attack caught Segawa off guard. He struggled to block Mira's strike. Cecilia worriedly stood by. Seeing her concern, Segawa thought happily, the girl I love cares about me, that is wonderful. But if this fight drags on, Cecilia and the others might get caught in the crossfire. Then he gathered all his strength to overwhelm Mira. Come on, try to absorb this one if you can. The sudden move caught Mira off guard. Mira gritted his teeth and asked uneasily, what is with this weirdly strong power? Then, Segawa seized the perfect chance, stepped forward, punched him, and said, you are showing way too many openings. That single masterful punch was enough to bring Mira crashing down. Proudly, he shouted, now you know what my fury feels like. Huh. Cecilia sighed in relief and said, Yuki-san has already struggled enough. Was it really necessary for him to stand there like that at the end? Segawa replied calmly, well, whenever the sen hits, my body just reacts like that automatically. He looked at Sich worriedly and asked, is Sich? Cecilia shook her head. She is not seriously hurt. Just needs a couple of days rest to recover. After a pause, she added, as for Mira struggled to get up, his eyes turning hollow and fixed straight ahead. His target was Gagoi. But Tairu ran up and stood right in front of Gagoi to block the way. Segawa exclaimed, Tairu-chan. That sharp branch just pierced through Tairu's stomach. He rushed over, grabbed the sharp branch, his eyes flickering with a hint of fear. Damn it! Without hesitation, he pulled the branch out of Tairu and shouted in panic, it is too late. Cecilia stepped forward, loudly calling out, Tairu-chan. She used the power of that staff in her hand to protect me like that. Tairu looked at him happily and said, because you have protected me so many times already. She smiled softly and thought, that is why this time. The staff suddenly dropped. Mira stood there laughing. Blocked again. Besides, I never thought this demon forged sword could be broken. Thanks to that stick. It is somewhat restored, but that just makes it more fun. This time, I will spare your lives. Hearing Mira's arrogant shout, Segawa narrowed his eyes and asked, you really think you can get away? Mira pulled out a bow and replied, foolish, do not get cocky. Then he looked up and fired an arrow. Just then, a rain of arrows descended straight towards Segawa, who exclaimed in shock, arrow rain? Cecilia turned pale with fear at the sight. Segawa dashed to Cecilia and shouted, damn it! Cecilia hugged Tairu tightly, just as Segawa turned back to confront Mira. He vanished. Segawa stared deep into the forest, wondering, that bastard ran off already. He approached Cecilia and quietly said, it is all my fault for being too reckless. Cecilia looked up at him fearfully and replied, Yuki-san, please do not blame yourself. I could not do anything either. Hearing that, Segawa clenched his teeth in anger. He blamed himself as a fool for relying too much on his good health and unlimited magic, thinking himself superior, looking at everyone. He whispered, but this world is far more complicated than I thought. Segawa took a quiet breath and seemed about to ask something, as expected. Segawa asked, Cecilia, the people from the village they won tea come here, right? She answered, yes, it seems they won tea. Just then, someone appeared behind her and called out, Yuki-san. Segawa transformed, his face frozen as if his soul had left his body. Then I will chase that Mira down and make him pay with his head. Cecilia shivered at his words. Segawa smiled and said, don't worry. I will make him suffer the worst pain possible. All right, please take care of Tairu-chan. Without another word, he spread his wings and flew off. Segawa carefully pulled down a cloth to cover his face and murmured, better to keep my face covered. Just below the forest, he spotted Mira's figure, then swooped down and landed right behind him. Mira, a bit agitated, grabbed an arrow and said, damn it, why would a demon be in a place like this? Mira quickly threw the arrow towards Segawa, but the situation suddenly reversed. Segawa pushed Mira's head down. Mira angrily shouted, damn it, what the hell's wrong with you? Segawa narrowed his eyes fiercely. You are the one who dared to mess with my subordinate Gagoi. What you did to my loyal subordinate, I will make you pay back tenfold. You are dying 1,000 deaths. All you need to do is take him down. Right? He shouted a challenge at him. Come on, stop waiting around. Segawa glared straight at Mira. Then he kicked Mira, sending him flying several meters away. Segawa slowly stepped closer to where Mira sat cross-legged on the ground, covered in blood. Mira shook his head repeatedly, disbelief in his voice. How is this possible? I defeated the Demon King Kima. So how can a demon clan this strong still exist? Segawa stepped forward, his eyes fixed on him. It is not over yet. I have only just warmed up. Right now, I am not that strange guy you are facing, a cold-blooded demon. Mira hurriedly grabbed the sword on the ground and lunged at Segawa. Segawa cocked his head, asking, are you really going to attack me with that? Segawa smoothly dodged past Mira and warned, you think that speed will let you hit me? It means nothing to me. As he spoke, Segawa squeezed Mira's arm tightly. Mira cried out in pain. Then Segawa punched him several times. Now sitting dazed on the ground, Mira was grabbed by the collar and lifted up by Segawa, fearful. Mira asked, "Where are you taking me?" Segawa warned coldly. "Someone like you only deserves to die." Mira panicked and stammered. "Wait, you do not mean..." Segawa laughed darkly. "Don't even dream it. I want to go easy on you." "Damn it." Then he dropped Mira to the ground, a cruel smile still on his face. Segawa stood above, watching Mira fall. He saw Mira tumble into the river and thought, that river flows through the Garrus Empire. If he is lucky, Mira might make it back to the Empire. Segawa then let out a light sigh. Alright, time to head back to Sicilia. Almost forgot about her arms and wings. Pulling them out must hurt a bit. No choice now. Time passed like this, for several days. After leaving everything by the river, he returned to Sicilia, who was very worried about him, especially after seeing his demon form. More than anyone, he did not want to have to use that demon form, because now, he was living as a human. Under the name Yuki, Tairachin was saved by restorative magic. Maybe holding Gargoyle's hand helped her a lot, too, as his defeat in that battle left him looking unwell. When they returned, they would probably need the help of Duke. Happy news! And Cecilia-san to take care of him. Segawa and Cecilia both froze seeing Gargoyle doting on Tyro. Alright then, try to sleep. Then he turned and gave an order. Hey, what are you two still standing there for? Give me a hand here. This is not good for her health. Tyro was curled up in bed, gently saying, Guardian Lord, may I ask you something? Can you call me Tyro? Gargoyle nodded without hesitation. Yeah? I understand. Alright Tyro. Your health is not fully recovered yet, so be good. Segawa and Cecilia froze seeing the image of Gargoyle and Tyro. Alright then, get some rest. Then he turned around and gave an order. Hey, what are you two still standing there for? Give her a hand. This one tea be good for her health otherwise. Tyro, still curled up, spoke softly. Guardian Sama, may I ask you for something? Can you please call me Tyro? Gargoyle nodded without hesitation. Okay. I understand. Tyro, your health is not fully recovered yet, so be good. Hearing Gargoyle say her name, Tyro excitedly exclaimed, Guardian Sama just called my name. I would gladly die for that. He immediately objected. Do not say that. Tyro sat up sincerely and apologized, saying sorry to everyone for mocking so much, because earlier's incident made everyone panic and rush back. Cecilia smiled gently and replied, It is nothing. Tyro nodded and said, But it is good, because I have something I want to tell you too. Segawa immediately asked, You still have something else? The girl hesitated a moment then continued, Regarding this matter, can I and the Guardian Spirit return to Minerva with you too? Please help me. The Guardian Spirit has lost an arm and 2 legs. I tried healing magic, but still, maybe we can find someone who can heal him in Minerva. Hearing this, Segawa furrowed his brow, thinking that it is true Minerva would have the needed information. But now, what should we do? Cecilia, she replied with some worry. Indeed, it seems impossible now. Tyro still has not fully recovered. Plus getting Gogui and San into Minerva seems pretty unfeasible. Suddenly he stopped brightening up. Cecilia, I have a great idea. Then everyone in the room gathered to discuss it. Hearing this, Tyro was happy and said, So that is it. It seems doable. Segawa smiled and said, That is settled then. Great. Gogui spoke up. Wait a moment. About moving. We still. At that moment, Tyro grabbed him by the shoulder enthusiastically and said, Awesome. Right? Guardian Spirit. Gogoi's helpless expression was clear. That is good. Cecilia laughed, saying he spoils Tyro too much. He nodded in agreement. Exactly. Then everyone said goodbye to the villagers here, thanking them deeply. After a week living together, now it was time to leave, and he felt a bit regretful. He used his magic to turn Gagoi back into stone statue form. After fully recovering, Tyro was accepted to live and serve as a maid in Cecilia's mansion. Before leaving, Cecilia reminded him not to overdo it. You are great at cleaning, right? I will do my best. After fully recovering, Tyro was accepted to live and serve as a maid in Cecilia's mansion. Before leaving, Cecilia reminded him not to overdo it. You are great at cleaning, right? I will do my best. Gogoi laughed out loud and said, Then I want to put this stone statue as decoration in the house. Is that okay? Cecilia objected. That is not allowed, she bluntly said. If you want to decorate with statues, you need to have some taste. Such a lavish hobby. He awkwardly nodded in agreement. Yes, it is really not allowed. We really have to challenge Tyro and Gagoi. In the end, I had to use my old house to turn into a place for Gagoi to live. Segawa stood admiring the statue and proudly said, I was confident it would work out. At that moment, a piercing scream rang out. Captain, Duke and Happy News have appeared. The angry shout came out. That bastard made Sich cry. Where is he? Segawa was startled. His gaze sharpened and said, I want to forgive him. Happy News standing nearby also said grimly, Eliminate him. Seeing their fierce looks, Segawa hurried to calm them. Hey. Calm down. Who told you that? Duke angrily retorted. Usually whenever he returns, He always says everyone worked hard today, but this time he was gloomy. So I asked him about it. We did not know about that. You looked straight at the two and said, but do not worry. The one who made Sitch cry was beaten by me in a fight and thrown away. Duck sneered. Captain, you are too kind. You should have cut him to pieces and thrown him into the sea. Kill him. Segowa thought helplessly. Do not say such awful things. You too. Anyway, I have dealt with him. Aren't you two supposed to be working? Hearing this satisfying reply, Duck pulled Happy News away saying, now let us get back to work. Hearing that, Segowa was furious. So you two really ditched work to come here? He hurriedly explained. But Captain, we are worried about Sitch. You can just do nothing. You should not. CM them, thought to himself. Maybe Cilia-san can help us? Sitch is very fond of Cilia-san, so if she meets her, she might feel better. Dex suddenly blurted out, that is right. Segowa just came up with an idea. Let us go ask Cilia-san for help. Happy News nodded without hesitation. Agreeing, Def walked up to Gegoi's statue and asked, by the way, Captain, I have been wondering, what is this about? Honestly, it looks really ugly. I have never seen it before. Gegoi, overhearing this somewhere, got annoyed but tried to hold it in. Degree continued, it looks like some kind of demon. Better to just toss it away. Happy News also took a look and concluded, shaking her head. Suddenly a voice rang out, hey, I do not even want to be stuck in this form. Happy News quickly used magic, still puzzled by the stone statue. Then Segowa suddenly raised his voice. Hey, you, stop destroying my house like that. What if this place breaks apart? Who is going to take responsibility? After realizing what was going on, both chuckled helplessly. So that is how it is? Said politely. Sorry for suddenly drawing my sword earlier. I am a technician. Nice to meet you. And this girl is Happy News. The rogue. Say hi. Gegoi returned to his spot and said calmly, I do not have a name. Nice to meet you. Div widened his eyes in surprise. No name. That is a bit inconvenient. Happy News blurted out. Gegoi. Ooh. Div replied amused. Not bad. Not bad. That sounds like a guy's name. It is settled then. Gegoi did not object. If that is what they wanted to call him, that was fine. Seeing things calm down, Segowa smiled quietly and thought, all right. Looks like they have started to get along. I was worrying for nothing. They suddenly scolded Happy News. Anyway, that earlier mess was not the Captain's fault. It is because you did not warn us. Yeah? I agree, Happy News replied. Exactly. She clenched her teeth and said, you guys, that is enough. Just as she was about to stop, Segowa suddenly heard a strange sound. He walked over and replied, yes. Then Sophia entered and said, so you are here. Happy News. Yesterday I assigned you to guide the new maid. Did not? She glared. Yet you still have time to come here and mess around. Happy News stammered nervously. Head maid. Sophia grabbed Happy News firmly and said, excuse me, as they left. Sophia added, Yuki-sama, please forgive me for the trouble, but that statue looks a bit off. Putting the clues together, someone exclaimed, this time it is. Jess smiled softly. A failure. Huh. Raven appeared then, and said, yeah, it is here. Isn't today the day we plan to go to Daga's village to handle those carvings? You are making me wait. Yuki, let us hang out sometime when you are free. Segowa nodded awkwardly. Yeah? Raven added, and do not use that statue as home decoration anymore. Then a voice rang out. Hey, young man. This form. Putting the clues together, he was a bit surprised. Gagoi continued, this Sphinx form actually looks pretty cool. Seeing that, Segowa rubbed his chin, thinking, could it be I have misunderstood everyone's taste in this world? How is that possible? All right. Maybe I should swing by the guild for a bit. Gagoi exclaimed excitedly. So you are leaving me like this? Hey. Really? Then go find Grayman. Just entering, Segowa quietly said. Huh, Grayman's not here. He asked the guild receptionist politely. Excuse me for interrupting, she politely replied. Yes, you are the one who usually talks with the vice captain. Right? Segowa was a bit surprised and said, hey, Iker, the vice captain. She laughed and said, yes, the vice captain is Grayman-san. That uncle is the vice captain. That is noisy. Seeing him hesitate, she asked, are you okay? Segowa shook his head. Sorry. It is nothing. It is just how he usually talks. I did not think he was the vice captain. The guild receptionist smiled. I get. Segowa blushed. Sorry about that. She continued. But he rarely complains. He even manages everything at Jill very well. On the day of the heroes' meeting, I joked about taking a few days off. So the vice president managed Jill for 3 days straight. Segowa wondered. Maybe he likes working on his days off. Was that the day I first came to Minerva? Where's Grayman? she whispered and continued. Because this concerns the guild's dignity. I can't say it out loud. Actually, he had a fight with his wife. Hearing this, he blurted out, "What?" The Hero Guild receptionist also said he got injured and is now resting. Soon, he saw Grayman lying in the hospital. Surprised. Grayman said, "Thought it was someone else. You came to visit me." "Thanks." Segawa handed him some food and casually asked, "I know couples argue, but why this bad?" Grayman explained, "Actually, we fought on our wedding anniversary." He blinked. "So you forgot?" Grayman snapped back angrily. "I remember clearly. It is just that I was delayed buying a gift because I got caught up in something. That night, I was picking out a present until midnight. When I got home, she was probably calm as always," Segawa concluded. "So it is still your fault. Go apologize." Grayman shook his head. "She is not mad anymore. Plus, after work today, she will come here to pick me up." "Jealous?" "Huh. She is coming to take care of me." Segawa froze for a few seconds, thinking, it takes half a year to fully recover. How come it seems off? Segawa asked again. "What does she do for work?" Grayman answered. "She is a maid at Madame's mansion. More precisely, she is the head maid." "Impressive?" "Huh?" he asked instinctively. "Is that Safia-san?" Grayman was briefly surprised. "Huh? How do you know her?" Segawa smiled and said, "Actually, I know Madame Akron, and I am friends with some of the maids there." Hearing that, Grayman breathed a sigh of relief. "That explains it." Then he asked, "Hey, how did you and Safia-san meet? Were you both adventurers?" Grayman laughed. "So you want to hear the story of my fateful meeting with Safia? All right, I will tell you. Should I start with me? Since I was a genius from childhood, before turning 18, he was a solo adventurer. Ranked whatever he wanted. He got anything he wanted was possible. Such a simple life became boring for him. At that moment, a voice rang out. Sounding casual. It was Safia. Safia reached out and suggested, but with a strong vibe, "Do you want to team up with me?" Grayman, drunk out of his mind, mumbled, "Beautiful." Then he suddenly lunged forward and hugged Safia tightly. He was so drunk that before he could answer her, he just jumped in to hug her and ended up getting a harsh beating. Safia hit and shouted at him, "Are you drunk?" Even though he was still drunk, for someone who usually wins so easily, that was a serious blow. After that, he came to apologize to Safia and ask if she wanted to form a team together. They used to be unstoppable back in the day, often called the unbeatable weakling duo. After hearing the story, Segawa bluntly said, "No way, I am jealous of you too." Grayman gave him a deep look and said, "But hey, do not say that around her casually. Hey, listen to me." Originally, Grayman did not plan to confess to her, but after working together, he realized he was falling for her. After everything they went through, Grayman was truly enchanted by Safia. Carefree guy, like me, felt flustered for the first time when I wanted to propose to her. At that moment, Grayman mustered all his courage and said, "Hey, let us get married." The proposal went perfectly. Safia shyly nodded. But after that moment, Grayman paused and said he got beaten up. That is how it went. Grayman told Safia she should quit being an explorer, but she still wanted to continue. He firmly said he did not want to see her in danger anymore, persuading her while nursing his bruises. Eventually, she agreed. Hearing this, Segawa sighed. "So even married, you two still argue a lot?" He laughed heartily and said, "Yeah, of course." Just then, there was a door opening outside. Segawa turned and saw it was Safia. She gently called out, "Hey love, I am here to pick you up." Surprised to see him, she asked, "Why's Yuki-san here?" He smiled and replied, "Grayman often helped me at juice, so I came to visit him, that is all." Grayman excitedly exclaimed, "My love, you came to get me." Safia angrily kicked him and shouted, "Who is your love?" "Shut up." Grayman held his head crying, "Don't I always call you Safia?" Then he started flattering her. "You look so beautiful in that dress." Seriously. Hearing that, she glanced at him softly. Safia looked at Grayman lovingly and said, "Because you are my husband." Segawa just stayed silent, seeing that. Safia kindly asked him, "Can you stand up?" Then Safia turned to him and said, "Well then, goodbye, Yuki-sama. Sorry for the trouble, and thank you so much for visiting my husband." Grayman waved and said, "Bye." Segawa waved back, feeling excited witnessing their love. "So sweet. They are so happy together. I am really jealous." Segawa sighed, lying back exhausted. He tossed and turned, then said, "I really want to see Cecilia." The next day, Segawa lay in bed dazed, muttering, "Cecilia." Repeatedly. Grayman saw this and spoke up, "Hey, dude. Enough already." Segawa looked up, and Gagoi bluntly said, "If you want to see her, just go to her house." Segawa cried, "Even if I want to see her, I can tea. Damn it, just imagining how busy she is. I can't just drop by anytime." Then Gagoi suddenly shouted, "Hey, dude, Stop looking at Gagoi's new appearance. Segawa admired. Looks good. Gagoi angrily snapped. Don't joke with me. Get lost. Just as Segawa was about to leave, a knock sounded outside. It was Cecilia's voice. Yuki-san, are you home? Startled, he exclaimed. Hey, Cecilia. Segawa ran over, shouting. Coming. Wait for me. He opened the door to find Cecilia and Happinett standing outside. She smiled softly and asked, Yuki-san. Segawa shyly replied. Cecilia only just realized and said, Happinett is here too. The moment she saw Happinett appear, her attitude immediately changed. Happinett angrily asked, What is with that attitude? Cecilia politely asked, Did our surprise visit bother you? He shook his head. Not all. Inside, Segawa was thrilled to the point of madness, thinking, having Cecilia come see me like this is pure happiness. What a beautiful day today. Please come in. Please come in. She stepped in and politely said, May I come inside? To the exhibition room. Segawa curiously watched Cecilia and Happinett scanning the room. Suddenly Happinett spotted something and asked, Who is that? She pointed to a statue of a woman missing both arms over there. Happinett glanced shyly toward Segawa. He snapped irritably. What do you mean? Her eyes shifted to Cecilia for help. It is beautiful. Is not being called out caught her off guard. How should I say this? Segawa, caught in the middle, looked utterly disappointed, thinking, I have used all my art knowledge, yet I am still underrated. Art here is so hard to understand. Frustrated, he changed the subject. Anyway, why are you two here today? Cecilia replied softly. No particular reason. Just that we had a day off and decided to hang out. Segawa brightened when talk turned to hanging out. No problem at all. Politely asked to sit next to Cecilia, who calmly asked, By the way, Sech-kun's been coming to our villa lately. Is that okay? Segawa was a bit suspicious. Well, from outside it is hard to tell. But I remember everyone saying he is overdoing it. But Cecilia quickly denied it. Actually, I think his mom brought him home. Though her eyes showed worry. This does not count as forcing him, right? And you just let it slide since they are all acquaintances. No big deal. Segawa asked again. Is Sech-kun back to normal? Cecilia's tone grew shy. Sorry, I have been busy and seldom home, so details are unclear. Suddenly Happy News whispered. Seems like she already met and talked with him. Somehow, Cecilia-san noticed Sech-kun's unusual demeanor, brought him home, and wanted to listen to his story. With his ability, Sech-kun never knew defeat, so losing for the first time and feeling powerless must have hurt deeply. At that moment, Cecilia gently embraced the crying Sech-kun. Soothing him, he kept crying until exhausted, then was taken to rest at the villa. In other words, it seems Sech-kun started feeling a bit better. She added, I was surprised by why he was hospitalized. Recalling Sophia's shy expression, Segawa felt his heart warm. Cecilia, you are healing mine right now. Happy News interjected. About bringing Sech home. It sounded like he was forced to cry. He objected. Isn't it a bit soon to say that? Segawa continued. Anyway, we all care about Sech. To which Happy News happily responded, Is that? He said nothing, just gave a quiet smile. To Sech, Cecilia-san was not just a mom. If it is Cecilia-san, everything would be fine. Right? Suddenly something crossed Segawa's mind. Now that I think about it, he was still surprised. Yesterday I visited someone I know in Gild's hospital. That is Sophia-san's husband. Cecilia asked. Sophia-san's husband. Segawa clenched his fists with a look of frustration. Someone like Grayman could get married and still be happy now. It was infuriatingly unfair. Seeing this, Cecilia spoke calmly. I also heard that Sophia-san went to the hospital to bring your husband back. She added that she was surprised by the reason he was hospitalized. And the image of a shy Sophia at that time came to mind. I had to spend our wedding anniversary alone, and in my anger, I completely lost it and hit him. Then Segawa turned toward the Happy News corner and joked around. Didn't you meet her today? Happy News. He was freaking out. Really scary. Just talking about it made Happy News terrified and nervous. Segawa felt a bit hard to describe inside. She smiled. Seems like things have gotten better. Sophia must be really happy, so much that Happy News got scared. Then he got curious. Their love story seems pretty good, since they started exploring together. He really wanted to hear it. At that moment, Cecilia remembered and spoke up. Mom already told me about that. Segawa got excited like he could not stand still. Super thrilled. This is not just about how Sophia-san and Crayman-san met. It is about Sophia-san's feelings when she teamed up with Crayman. Sophia-san joined small teams with other explorers, but she did not really click with them. While Sophia-san was fine, her teammates kept getting defeated and covered in wounds. Because of that, people badmouthed her, and the whole group broke up quickly. Still, even though Crayman-san complained a lot, he never left her side. Sophia looked at Crayman tiredly and felt sorry. If I am a bother, let us just split up. Though he would been drinking, he was still a bit clear-headed. Those missions are annoying, but working with Sophia, No way. I am not agreeing to that. Then, Love Blossom Segawa held his head yelling. No way. Why is this so mushy? Not just that. Cecilia excitedly continued the story after Kramen left for a bit. Hey, cute little sister. Sophia-san got teased by some players. Well, she did not care. Kramen's voice cut in. What is going on? He came closer and saw it was a bunch of guys harassing women. Thinking something serious was happening, Kramen urged her to leave. Let us go somewhere else. Sophia? No other choice. Then a guy got angry and shouted, Hey! The guy threatened as he approached Kramen. You are bold. Daring to take on half of us. Kramen looked tired. Come on. I'm exhausted. Then he pushed the guy into a chair. Cut me some slack. Okay, another guy. Not wanting to let it go, grabbed Sophia's shoulder. Hey. Little sister. Immediately. She spun around and delivered a strong kick. The guy could not react in time and fell to the ground. Then the two left quietly amid the surprised crowd. Since then, they have been known as the unbeatable troublemaking duo. Later to bar. Kramen sighed helplessly. What a bunch of nuisances. Moments later, he looked at Sophia with affection. I just want to spend this precious time with you. But before the story ended, Segawa did not want to hear more. Not another mushy part. Seriously, Cecilia turned back and saw Happy Knit had fallen asleep. And he had not noticed when she gently called her. It is time to go, Happy Knit-chan. Wake up. Before leaving, Cecilia had something to say. Sorry to bother you. But Cecilia tilted her head expectantly against the wall. I want to go to Clarine's palace with Yuki-san. She smiled dreamily. Eyes sparkling, voice soft as flowing water. Count on Yuki-san. See you later. Now Segawa suddenly remembered Cecilia's words about the palace. A few days later, they went there together. The three of them stood before the magnificent palace. Amazed? It is huge. Suddenly Segawa scratched his head and asked, By the way, why are we here? Cecilia quickly replied, Let me explain. She had already guessed how Six felt, his eyes fixed on Six. It seemed like the lively, cheerful Six was back. She was in a great mood. The three of us have been to Grana's village before. Right, Six? That is right. Cecilia continued. Events had also been updated. The evacuation of villagers and dealing with bandits went well. And Sei-san's innocence was confirmed. But there was one problem. Segawa's voice made her freeze. Was it about that hero's name? Seeing that, he gently petted Six's head to comfort him. That seems to have worked. He just spoke up. I am Captain. Really? I am from now on. I will be strong and won't let myself be beaten again. Six showed determination in front of the two of them. And she had promised Cecilia-san that one day she would definitely defeat him. But Cecilia's eyes clouded with worry. Just as Yuji-san said, it is about that hero. He really has some scheme going on. That is how the Kingdom of Clarines is right now. So the question now is, how do we fight against him? Then she handed Segawa the detailed report during the fight. He used many kinds of weapons. And they fell into the river. Cecilia added, that is basically what happened. Looks like you have got quite a bit of info. Right? Still, she had concerns. But before reporting about that artificial magic sword, it is hard to believe that someone like me, who uses magic, was defeated. That is why I had to be here today. Even if there is doubt, Segawa spoke up to reassure. But we agreed on this. Did not. Then he glanced at Cecilia. They silently understood each other. Sitch, what worries me now is that you are getting more anxious. Sitch-kun, be careful with your words. Segawa was just as worried. Because of that, do not rush your words. The pressure from both sides made Sitch say, Got it. Got it. Then, the three of them entered the hall. The man sitting lazily on the throne introduced himself. Everyone's here. I am Dazanta Clarines, Emperor of this kingdom. He looked at the three who were all properly respectful and put on a mocking face. You do not have to be so formal, just speak freely. All right, Sylvia beside him warned. Sir, you must maintain the dignity of a king, but he joked happily. Don't he force it? Sylvia, at just 10 years old, he joined the battlefield and won, though a third prince. He claimed the throne at only 25. Cecilia seemed all too familiar with this. Did she even manage to pull this face? Sitch's asleep already. That fast. Just then, Segawa spoke up from below. Sir, can we talk now? Das suddenly remembered. My apologies. His expression turned serious. Then let us discuss what happened in Dega's village. He seriously held up the report. All details are here. But I see some issues. Cecilia Karen from the Brave team, though I hesitate to mention, and I think she could take on that Mira guy from Garrus Empire. While Daz analyzed. Her teammate, a level C adventurer, Yuki, and that boy had no info. Then Segawa whispered to the fast asleep Sitch. Wake up, Sitch. Then he affirmed the info received, saying, I want to see your true abilities. What should we do? A duel with Sylvia right here. It seems. Instantly, her face hardened with fierce intent. Sylvia lunged, slashing sharply at Sitch, but he quickly jumped high to dodge. Even Das was taken aback by the situation. Another sword strike followed. Sitch flipped over to avoid it. Then once more, he spun lightly to slip away. Feeling the fight should end there, Sylvia sheathed her sword. Das glanced at her. Having that skill at her age was impressive. He seems effective. Cecilia quickly bowed her head. Thank you for the compliment, sir. He laughed heartily. No need to be so tense. You knew this would happen, right? I had someone investigate. And indeed, there is evidence of a battle there. Besides, if you had lost, how could you appear here? Cecilia's cheeks flushed with a bit of irritation. Your Majesty, he still keeps that stubborn attitude. Don't be angry. I want to say you did very well in Dega's village, so I want to reward you generously. Hearing this, Segowa's face started to flush from the spotlight. A reward. He seemed lost in his own daydream. A reward. If only I got rewarded. If only I heard that sweet voice. If she said that to me, it would be amazing. Exactly. Acting on impulse, Segowa quickly made a request. Surprising everyone, I want to date Cecilia. When he realized everyone in the hall was staring at him, he suddenly understood. He had just confessed he wanted to date Cecilia. Segowa froze, drenched in sweat. This is bad. Not only that, he glanced toward Cecilia, trying to gauge her reaction. Compared to that Footer guy, her mood darkened noticeably. Segowa nervously feared she would be angry, and he guessed perfectly. Cecilia stood up, using all her strength. She punched Segowa hard, ignoring his screams. This is the king's reward. Don't he joke like that? Segowa could not fight back, only casting a pleading look at Sitch, but got back louder from him. Not just that, louder was equally loud. More fun than I expected. You are better than I thought. At that, Segowa felt a bit relieved and smiled awkwardly. I'm okay now. Right? Then Cecilia splashed cold water on him, making Segowa uneasy. Yuki-san, remember to explain everything to me when we get back. Laughed loudly. Teasing, you two seem pretty close. By the way, let us get back to the reward issue. Segowa bowed his head. Embarrassed? Yes, please, sir. Forget what just happened. Please forgive me for letting you see that, and he pleaded earnestly. Please forgive my late apology. King seemed a bit intrigued by him. I did not expect someone this interesting in the kingdom. Not only that, even meant it as a compliment. If I had met you earlier, you would already be part of the hero squad. But Segowa immediately denied that, saying you are only a company C. Please do not flatter me like that. I am just a company C. He sighed in regret. That is how it is. As for Yuki's wish, if the girl named Karen does not accept, there is nothing I can do. His face tensed up quickly. Are you serious? Please. Just forget about it. Why do you keep bringing it up? Asked Cecilia beside him. And Karen. Cecilia, do you have any wishes? She respectfully bowed her head and spoke softly. I do. As a citizen of the Clarion's kingdom, this is my duty. He seemed quite pleased with that answer. Such amazing loyalty. Expected from the hero team's founder. How are the other members doing? Cecilia's voice remained soft and calm. Yes, everyone has returned to their daily lives. From what Cecilia said, Yuga's now handling some diplomatic tasks and dealing with demon-related matters. Mikana is working as a senior mage. Raven has taken on the role of squad leader of the cavalry. And Cecilia, as a cleric, travels widely helping people. Everyone has grown stronger. The hero team has become a legend, or at least that is how it seems. As king, Das is also quite grateful for that. From now on, protecting this kingdom is up to you. Segowa replied. Yes, sir. Then he glanced over at the last guy sitting cluelessly on the floor. Senza clearly can keep up with this conversation. Hey kid, want a reward? Hearing that, Six seriously thought for a long time. Then he happily blurted out, surprising the other two. The more candy, the better. Tons of it. Finally, the conversation ended. The three of them left the castle together. The happiest at the moment was probably Sick, with a big bag of candy in hand. Inside, Segowa was helpless with him called here, just to leave with a pile of sweets. This king really knows how to host guests. Daz even told them to visit whenever they wanted, though remembering that made him a bit embarrassed. Noticing this, Cecilia turned and called out, Yuki-san. Her voice was still gentle, but her eyes were heavy with worry. Come to my place, we have things to discuss. Feeling that something was wrong, Segowa trembled nervously. Yes, Sick's mood was the opposite. He was completely lost in joy, eager to share his candy with everyone. Entering Cecilia's neat and lovely room, Segowa's heart raced wildly. He was stepping into the room of the girl he loved. Any guy in this situation would have a pounding heart and shaking legs. Totally excited, but when his eyes met Cecilia's dark, heavy gaze, the thought vanished instantly. But not like this. She looks terrifying.